If you're serious about winning the game of real estate, you have to become an expert closer. Whether prospecting, cold calling, or appointment closing, on this video, I'm going to share with you how to master the phones and close more deals with sellers. Get ready to learn the 5 W's for success coming up.
This video is brought to you by Fast Track, a partner program where Jerry Norton will fund your deals and mentor you. Learn more at fasttrackwithjerry.com.
If you're new here, my name is Jerry Norton, and I've been a full-time real estate investor now for almost 18 years. Amongst other things, I specialize in flipping houses all across the country, and I've helped thousands of new investors get into the game of flipping and create 6-figure and even 7-figure incomes. If you want to learn how to flip houses so you can live your dream life, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. When it comes to phone sales, I want to help you set yourself up for success and increase your conversions before you even start. I love what football legend Tom Brady once said, "We won the game before we even started." Now, I recently sat down with one of my acquisitions managers who was really struggling. I asked him what he thought the problem was, and he said the reason why he wasn't closing was because the leads sucked. Now, I knew better, so I said to him, "The leads don't suck. You suck at the leads." Now, you see, winning at sales is about you taking extreme ownership for your results or lack of results. Let me share with you 5 skill set and mindset shifts that will set you up for success. I call these the 5 W's for success in sales. The first W for success is what? What do you want? Most people start dialing without any goal in mind. Some make it a goal to call a certain amount of time or maybe call a certain number of leads, but that is not a clear enough outcome. Instead, set a goal for the number of appointments you want to make, or the number of offers you want to make, or the number of sales you want to close. Now, the reason why this seemingly small shift in how you approach dialing or appointments has such a powerful impact is because when you are clear about what you want, you engage what's called the reticular activating system, or RAS, in the brain. The RAS is a bundle of nerves at the brainstem that filters out unnecessary information so the important stuff gets through. The more clear you are about the outcome you desire, the more your RAS is programmed to pay attention to the process or the steps needed to achieve your specific goal. Put simply, what you focus on expands, so when you say, "My goal is to set 3 appointments today," your RAS is activated to the exact message you gave it, and you'll instinctively gravitate towards opportunities to achieve your goal of 3 appointments. So with every dialing session, get clear on your goal, write it down, and manifest it. The second W for success is why, as in your compelling reason for why you're doing this in the first place. I refer to this as your big why. Knowing your big why before you start is extremely important because meaning creates motion. Meaning gives you proper context to the work, and you take the necessary action even when all the odds are against you. One of the greatest sporting upsets of all time was when James "Buster" Douglas defeated the heavyweight champion Mike Tyson in Tokyo in 1990. After 37 straight victories, the boxing world was stunned to see Mike Tyson defeated. At the time, Tyson seemed unbeatable, and no one believed Douglas could beat Tyson except perhaps one person, Buster's mom, Lula Pearl. And this is the story most people don't know. Buster's mom, Lula, had been sick for an extended period of time, and when she found out her son was going to fight Mike Tyson, she proclaimed to everyone, "My son is going to beat Mike Tyson." She told everyone, "My son is going to beat Mike Tyson," and she believed it, and she was convinced her son was going to beat the great Mike Tyson. Then just a few weeks before the big fight, at the age of 46, Lula had a massive stroke and died. Now, Buster, who was only 29 years old, was devastated. He just lost his biggest supporter and the one person who believed in him. After his mom's passing, Douglas broke down at the end of multiple training sessions, and his trainer even asked if he wanted to postpone the fight, but he didn't. Douglas later stated that he chose to move forward with the fight because his mother believed he could win, and he didn't want to let her down. On the big day of the fight, Douglas surprisingly hung with Tyson most of the fight until he was knocked down late in the 8th round. Douglas recalls he was tempted to not get back up, but he thought of his mother and how she always told him that he could do anything he wanted in life. After that, it was like he sprang to life. If you've ever seen the fight, Douglas dominated the 9th round as Tyson was left with a huge swollen left eye, something no one had ever seen before. Then Douglas dropped Tyson 1 minute and 22 seconds in the 10th round with a quick combination of what Douglas called 4 terrific shots. The undefeated champion failed to beat the count and Douglas won the fight. Now, I share this story because real estate is a contact sport, and prospecting and calling leads and talking to sellers and closing sales is like getting in the ring with Mike Tyson. And when you get knocked down and you get knocked down and knocked down, the only thing that is going to keep you going is your big why. You have to find enough purpose to get back up in the 8th round when it would be easier to just quit. Like my friend Dave Lundgren says, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. Lasting motivation comes from meaning and not mood. Unfortunately, most people's motivation is dictated by mood. When the mood feels right, you'll make your dials. When you feel in the right mood, then you'll do the work. But mood is fickle and fleeting and doesn't last very long, and success comes long after the mood has left you. Find the motivation in meaning, not mood. So, how do you tap into your meaning or your big why? I recommend you shorten your big why to a more immediate outcome. Let me explain. Most people's big why is far too down the road that it doesn't inspire action today, like retiring in 10 years or putting your daughter through college someday and she's 4 right now. That's too far down the road to inspire urgency. Instead, shorten your why to just 4 months down the road. I learned this in the book called The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. The fundamental mindset shift that the authors teach is to redefine your year from 1 year equals 12 months to 1 year equals 12 weeks. The idea is that when you think in 12-week cycles instead of 12-month or longer cycles, you'll use your time in the day more deliberately and more intentionally because a 12-week window of time is much more predictable than 12 months, and it's short enough to drive focused action, yet long enough to get meaningful results. Interestingly, Buster Douglas's mom's passing was 3 weeks before the fight, and his big why was very simple. Make my mom proud and beat Mike Tyson. That was it. So, in the next 12 weeks, what do you want and why do you want it? What do you want and why do you want it? For example, to make $20,000 in the next 12 weeks so I can pay off my credit card debt, or to make $20,000 so I can put a down payment on a house, or whatever it is. Let me give a personal example. When I moved to Puerto Rico earlier this year, I set a 12-week goal to make $100,000 on a Puerto Rican deal, not a deal in the States, but right here in Puerto Rico. And with that $100,000, I would hire and pay for 3 full-time people that would come to my house 5 days a week, a cleaning person, a handyman, and a nanny. And guess what? In exactly 4 months, I found an amazing cleaning person who comes every day, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I found an awesome handyman who comes every day and takes care of home repairs, the groundskeeping, the pool, the vehicles, etc. And I found the best live-in nanny to help my wife with homeschooling and the kids. And I just did a big wholesale deal right in the community where I live, right here in Puerto Rico, that made $85,000 in profit that just about covers the cost for all 3 helpers for a year. Okay. The third W for success is where, as in where does it all happen? One of the things my 3 older boys and I share in common is a love for war history and war strategy. We read books all about the world wars and about Navy SEALs, and if you've ever seen a war movie, the general has a war room where he makes all of his important decisions. And in the war room, there's this energy that you can feel in the room. That is how I treat my workspace or my space for doing calls. I call my office the war room because that's where it's all won and lost. And when I sit down at my desk, it's game on, baby. The lion in me comes out and it's time to go to war. Now, let me use another sports analogy. In high school, I was an all-state wrestler, and after a tournament on Saturday, guess what I did on Monday with my coach? We watched film of my matches from the Saturday tournament. This is what the NFL does too on Monday after the Sunday night game. They watch film. Why? to learn more about yourself and your opponent. I love what Sun Tzu, author of the timeless book, The Art of War, and perhaps the greatest war strategist of all time, said. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not your enemy, then every victory gained, you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Now, the only way to win at the game of real estate is to know yourself and know your opponent, or in our case, your customer. I recommend you record your sales calls and then, just like the NFL, watch or listen to your performance. Study yourself. What did you do good? What can you do better? And study your customer. Understand their concerns and objections. Get a sales coach to critique your calls. Now, I did this with my good friend and expert closer, Cody Hofhine, and was able to learn so much. I did a video where he critiqued a call I did with a seller. You should watch that video. I'll put the link in the description box below for you. Write down all the things that you're learning about you and about your customer. I call this your playbook. And once you have a playbook, you'll know exactly how to handle different situations as they arise. The fourth W is wow. This is referring to your energy or your passion. Every great sales expert will tell you that enthusiasm is the key to your success, and your wow or enthusiasm is not about volume. It's about your tonality and the way you fluctuate your voice and the way that you convey your passion for how you can help them. It's where empathy comes from and curiosity, and ultimately, it's where connection happens between you and the customer. And when you create a meaningful connection with that person, you build a relationship of trust. And that's where a sale happens, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So how do you create this wow or this high energy? One thing that will make a difference is to stand up when you do your calls. When you're sitting and you get rejection, you start to slouch and your diaphragm gets crunched down and your energy goes down. Now, if you watch my videos where I'm on the phone, I'm usually sitting down, but that's only because I'm trying to stay in the camera frame. That is not how I normally talk on the phone. My peak energy is when I stand and I move around so that I can really get that energy going. Write this down. Energy is contagious. Energy is contagious. When it comes to your wow, remember this. Your customer will only ever be as excited as you are. So what do you need to do to create your peak wow? Maybe it's pray or meditate. Maybe it's listen to some music, jump up and down. Whatever it is, get your wow on when you do your calls. And last but not least, the fifth wow is winning. Winning is referring to your confidence. And what I've noticed is in all the years that I've been doing this is the best way to increase your confidence and improve your skills as a closer is to role play. Now, I learned this value of role play years ago when I was a proselyting missionary for 2 years in Argentina. As a missionary, every morning, 7 days a week, before I would go out in the streets to talk to people, me and my other missionary companions would role play. We would practice different situations and how to handle them. One missionary would pretend to be a person with a specific objection, and then the other missionary would practice overcoming that objection. Then we'd discuss what went good and what went bad, and then we'd switch roles. Role-playing was perhaps the most important activity I did as a missionary to improve my skills of talking to people about the gospel. Now, if you really want to win on the phones and win at sales, then just like getting good at piano or sports or anything, you have to practice. Here's what I want you to do. Get my word-for-word cold calling scripts. I'll give them to you for free. Just go to the description box below this video for the download link. Then find someone who will role play with you and have him or her role play with you. Have them pretend to be a seller. Give them specific objections, then role play overcoming that objection. Then get feedback on what went well and what needs improved. As you improve, have your role play partner increase the difficulty. Either be more rude or cut you off or just hold on to their objection longer. You would be amazed at how much you'll improve at sales by role playing just 30 minutes a day. So let's put the 5 W's I discussed on this video to work. If you're a wholesaler or a flipper, I developed a cloud-based all-inclusive system for organizing, streamlining, and automating all of the steps to wholesaling and flipping houses. It's called Flipster, and for a limited time, I'm giving an exclusive offer to get unlimited leads with free skip tracing for less than a penny per lead. You can't find that anywhere. To learn all about this limited exclusive offer, go to getunlimitedsellerleads.com to register for a free training to get all the details. And finally, to help you really create a connection and build a strong relationship of trust with your prospects, I want you to watch a video where I share 20 powerful phrases to use when talking to sellers. On that video, I give examples and explanations for when to use them. Watch that video now, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. With almost 800 videos, this is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.